Debt settlement versus bankruptcy. Are you having difficulty trying to decide which path to take to get out of debt? Let's look at two of the most popular methods to choose: debt settlement versus bankruptcy. So, what is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is a court proceeding in which a judge and court trustee look at your assets and liabilities and decide if they will discharge your debts. This way, you're no longer legally required to pay them. Bankruptcy carries some significant long-term penalties because it will remain on your credit report for 7 to 10 years and cost you a lot of money in the long run. Now, what are the types of bankruptcy? There are several types of bankruptcy for which individuals or married couples can file, the most common being Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is a chance to receive a court judgment that releases you from responsibility for repaying debts. You're permitted to keep key assets considered exempt property, but non-exempt property will be sold to repay part of your debt. Property exceptions vary from state to state. You may choose to follow either state law or federal law, which may allow you to keep more possessions. Examples of exempt property include your home, the car you use for work, equipment you use at work, Social Security checks, pensions, veterans benefits, welfare, and retirement savings. These things can't be sold to use to repay debt. Non-exempt property include things like cash, bank accounts, stock investments, coin or stamp collections, a second car or second home, etc. Non-exempt items will be liquidated and the proceeds used to repay lenders. Your assets will be sold by a court-appointed bankruptcy trustee. The proceeds go toward paying the trustee, covering administrative fees, and if funds allow, repaying your creditors as much as possible. This can become very expensive. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy involves repaying some of your debt to have the rest forgiven. This is an option for people who do not want to give up their property or do not qualify for Chapter 7 because their income is too high. People can only file for bankruptcy under Chapter 13 if their debts do not exceed a certain amount. The specific cutoff is reevaluated periodically, so check with a lawyer or credit counselor for the most up-to-date figures. Under Chapter 13, you must design a 3 to 5 year repayment plan for your creditors. Once you successfully complete the plan, the remaining debts are erased. However, most people do not successfully finish their plans. When this happens, debtors may choose to pursue a Chapter 7 bankruptcy instead. If they don't, creditors then can resume their attempts to collect the full balance owed. Now let's look at debt settlement. Debt settlement comes into play as an excellent option if you do not qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and you do not want to be in a Chapter 13 for 7 to 10 years. With debt settlement, most programs are around 36 months in length. Once you enroll in a debt settlement program, you will need to go delinquent on your accounts. A creditor or collector is not going to accept less than you owe if there's reason to believe you could pay the full amount that you originally agreed to. Debt settlement companies negotiate with creditors to reduce what you owe, mostly on unsecured debt such as credit cards. It's not an option for certain types of debt, such as a house that can be foreclosed or a car that can be repossessed. It is also not for federal student loans. Settlement offers work only if it seems you won't pay at all, so you stop making payments on your debts. Instead, you open a savings account and make a monthly payment there. Once the settlement company believes the account has enough for a lump sum offer, it negotiates on your behalf with the creditor to accept a smaller amount. A successful settlement occurs when the creditor agrees to forgive a percentage of total account balance, typically 26% to 68%. Because you have stopped making payments to your creditors, your credit report will show evidence of debt settlement and the FICO scores will go down as a result. However, if a paid-in-full letter is obtained from the creditor, the debtor credit report should show no sign of being in a debt settlement program. Additionally, as debtors graduate from the program, they may see their scores improve from where they were when they entered the program. Call United Debt Counselors today at 1-877-390-9998 or visit us online at www.udcamerica.com.